Hey, beautiful people. I hope you're having a blessed night on tonight. One thing that I wanted to quickly talk about is, in fact, the Ciara and Russell Wilson situation. And with this video, I am going to be coming from a place of not particularly focusing more on the dress that she wore, but more so focusing on the response that she gave to the criticism that she received from wearing the dress. Because I truly believe that, Ciara, she knew what she was doing. I believe that if she is truly confessing to be a woman of God, then she was convicted, and obviously she dismissed that conviction and she did her own thing, pretty much. But like I said, one thing I want to discuss is her response to the criticism. And one thing that I want to point out is that in Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 12:1, it says that, a person who loves correction and, it says, let me look, it says, whoever loves instruction and discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof and correction is stupid. So when I saw her response to the criticism that she received because of the dress, I'm like, well, how can you get upset? Because people, are holding you accountable to what you confess and what you profess to be, which is a woman of God alongside your husband, which is a man of God. So again, it says, whoever loves instruction and discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof and correction is stupid. We have to be careful that the response to criticism, or not even criticism, let's just be honest, a lot of times it be righteous judgment that we take offense to because we know we've done something that was not according to the will of God. And especially when you're on a public platform, it's just really best to just say, you know what, I was wrong. I could have did better. I could have been a better example. Because I'm professing to be a woman of God, I could have done better. Instead, Ciara, she was very kind of like arrogant with the video that she put out, with her being like fully clothed in like a cover or a blanket or whatever it was. But it's like, come on, Ciara. It's like, you know what you did. You know how you are looked at in the media. You know that you are an example, not only to women, but to, young girls too. And I truly believe that women like Ciara, who make the type of moves that she made in the Vanity Fair, on the Vanity Fair red carpet, are the main reason why a lot of our young girls, teenagers, young adults are going through depression, because we see this all too often on social media. We see women half naked. We see women wearing almost nothing, and then here goes Ciara, icon, who's looked at more highly than a lot of these women on Instagram, and she's just doing it like it's nothing, with no remorse for her actions. Like, pretty much saying, I don't care if your child looks up to me, it is what it is. So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm coming more so from a place of dealing more so with her response. Yes, the dress was very risque. It was very inappropriate, but she knows that. She knew that. She knew that when she put it on. She can't say that, oh, well, my body is invisible in this, because of course it's not. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that our mistakes or our actions can cause other people to stumble. So you have to think about how many young girls are going to think that's okay. Not even let's just cut out the adults. How many young girls are going to think that it's okay to dress this way? And we can say all day long, well, it's up to the parents to make sure that their daughters is not doing X, Y, and Z. Yes, it's the truth. It really is the truth, but you cannot always help what your children is exposed to, especially like teenagers. Like, remember when we were teenagers, we got exposed to certain stuff. Our parents didn't know nothing about it because they cannot protect us from everything. That's why it takes a village of other people to be concerned about each individual's child, to say, okay, well, I'm going to be an example for this person's child, for my own child, because it truly takes a village. So even when it comes down to, Russell Wilson, the look on his face, it just really told it all. And I'm reminded that even in Proverbs, let me find it. In Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 12, it says, a virtuous and excellent wife, worthy of honor, is the crown of her husband. But she who shames him with her foolishness is like rottenness to his bones. So, one thing that I kind of want to point out is that, everybody's talking about, oh, the prayer that Ciara prayed, the prayer that Ciara prayed. She prayed a prayer that was heard by God, and she was able to get a good man. A good man came into her life, but in this instance, she's not being a virtuous and excellent wife. She's not being the crown of her husband. She's being the exact opposite. She's being a woman who shames him with her foolishness, because going on a red carpet, whether your husband didn't say anything about it or not, I don't know why he didn't, but whether he said anything about it or not, or approved of it or not, that was foolishness. That was foolishness to actually put yourself out there as a woman of God who was a week prior, standing next to your husband singing as he preached to inmates. So it's causing those inmates to stumble. And again, this is righteous judgment. Righteous judgment, you guys. We have to get out of the mind frame of saying, oh, we're not supposed to judge. We're not supposed to talk about other people and what they're doing. Nobody is perfect. Everybody knows that. I'm not coming from a place of perfection. I'm not perfect myself. And one thing I would say, what I'm saying, I am a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I know I don't have the worst shape, but I know that I am not displaying my body for other men to see, or for men to see, and to cause them to stumble. Because even when I do wear certain things, I have to ask myself, how does this look? Like my style, it's cold right now. My style is like leather jacket with a nice hoodie underneath it, with some tights and some nice boots. So even with the tights, I have a slim figure, so I even have to ask my boyfriend, like, babe, like, how does this look on me? Because first and foremost, if I'm going out with him, I don't want other men looking at me and disrespecting him. It's all about honoring the person that you're with. You have to consider the other person. And I've gotten into the mindset of, okay, even if I'm wearing tights, I'm gonna wear a shirt that covers my backside, that covers my front side, because I do not want to be exposed. Not only do I love my man, but I fear God, I respect God, and not only that, I love myself enough to say, look, it's a certain way that you have to move. It's a certain way that you have to dress. Modesty is still sexy. You don't have to show everything. You don't have to show cleavage. You don't have to show your butt. You don't have to show other things, your breast and stuff like that. You don't have to show those things to be sexy. You can still be sexy and be modest. So that's something that I think that Ciara, I believe she knows it, but I believe because she's at a certain level in her career, or a certain level of influence, she kind of feels like she can do what she want to do. And that right there is harmful, because whether you believe it or not, you are looked at in a certain light, whether you want to or not. People are looking up to you. People are, you know, looking up to you in ways that they're idolizing you, which is not right. But they're looking up to you as a role model. And because you're in a certain position, a certain influential position, the role of a role model is automatically given to you. So it's not much that you can do to take that away. You will never not be a role model to anybody. You will always be a role model to somebody when you're in a certain position or a certain caliber. So one thing I will, if I can have a talk with Ciara, I will encourage her to live the life that you proclaim in the public. Just like we all have to do the same thing. We all have to do it. So this is not no, direct just hit at her, because I actually feel for her. And I believe as women we can all take away from this. Like, come on now, are we causing people to stumble? Or are we not living according to how we say, or according to what we profess? We have to really keep that in mind on a daily basis. And not only that, if we do something, if we do make a mistake, or if we do excuse me, or if we do, like I said, make a mistake publicly, we should be woman enough to say I was wrong. We should be woman enough to hold ourselves accountable to say, okay, I could have did this better. I could have did that better instead of being arrogant. Because now it's a different spirit that has attached to it. Because if she would have came in a humble and meek spirit and said, I was wrong. I could have did better. I could have dressed better. I see the criticism and I understand where the criticism and the righteous judgment is coming from. So how can I be better as a person? And that is what we have to ask ourselves. Sometimes it's in the response that we give people that just shows the real true intent of our heart. Because if we was truly sorry about the mistakes that we made or the things that we did or the actions that we take, we will come with a whole different humble, you know, attitude. Even the Bible says, don't look at yourself more highly than you should. You can have the baddest body, you can have the most money, but in the end, that does not matter. In the end, what truly matters is our salvation. In the end, what truly matters is, are we spending time with God? Are we practicing what we preach? Are we getting better? Are we praying? Are we fasting? Like, are we really in this thing to make a difference in the lives of other people? Or are we just concerned about how we look, our own vanity? The Bible talks about vanity. The Bible talks even about beauty. The Bible says that beauty is fleeting. That means you can be beautiful now, but what about 10 years from now? What about 20 years from now when your body is not as tight, when you're not as snatched, when you're not as popular, then what then? So as I said, I truly believe that, we need to pray for Ciara. Pray that she see the error of her ways. Pray that she repents for causing so many people to stumble. And it's not, like I said, it's not singling her out because of so many other people, but because she's such a person of influence, so many people are talking about her. So many people are talking about her husband. And as I said, you have to really think about it. In Proverbs, it talks about how a woman's husband is viewed at the city gates. The city gates is where, the men of influence go. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. The city gates in this instance can be, Russell Wilson's football locker room. It can be his circle of friends. It can be his business partners. It can be so many things, that now when he goes into these environments, he's no longer respected because everybody has seen how his wife looked. And of course, we've seen Ciara dress, in ways that are not appropriate, but I believe this dress takes the cake. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I believe this dress, the way she dressed, in this instance, it just takes the cake because she was barely naked. She was almost naked, if we're honest. So we have to think about how is her husband being viewed, and if he's being viewed in a negative light because of his wife. Now we have to think about how God is viewing it, because like I said in Proverbs, it says, a virtuous and excellent wife worthy of honor is the crown of her husband, but she who shames him with her foolishness is like rottenness to his bones. So that means that she's rottening his bones. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not say that's not what it is. That's exactly what's taking place here. The look on his face said it. And one thing about a man is that, think about men in the Bible and how they were affected by women. Like, a woman will really silence a man. A woman will really, how can I put it? A woman will really silence a man until it's like he really don't have any say so, or he feel like he don't have any say so because she done already said, well, this is what I'm gonna do. You ain't gonna change my mind, So now that she's married, she has reverted to her old way of thinking, and if she continue in this way, it will only cause like more harm to her marriage, to her as an individual, to her husband, to her children, to the women that she supposedly, supposed to make impact, or to bring impact to, just so many people are affected by the actions of others. And we have to keep in mind that what we do affects other people. It's not just um our way. We have to think about, oh, what am I doing? Is what I'm doing going to affect this person? Is it going to affect that person? So one thing I would say again is like, let's just be real about it. You messed up, Ciara. You messed up. You should have done better. And I know a lot of people may not agree with it. A lot of people may think, oh, she look good. Yes, she looks good. She has a nice body. But in the grand scheme of things, was it really necessary? And what was the motive behind going on a red carpet in that manner? And another thing that I would say is that we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful of the spirit that are behind the motives of what people do. Because even in the Bible, Ahab allowed Jezebel to do some things that cost both of them their life. So even when it comes down to men have to step up. Men have to speak out. Because no man in his right mind who truly loves his wife, who truly is concerned, and who truly has a voice will allow his wife to come outside looking like that. Like I just don't see it happening. I don't know why he was silent about it. I don't even know why he stood next to her on the red carpet. Because honestly, I wouldn't have. That's shameful. That's shameful. Like, you can't say that he wasn't thinking in his mind, oh, I wonder who all is seeing my wife, who all is looking at my wife. Women, I would say this: we have to do better. We have to be a greater example. Even us women, I'm 32, even us women in our 30s, we have to teach the younger women the way to go. Because if not, then they'll be lost. So again, I hope this message resonate with us as women. We just have to do better. And we just have to be willing to be accountable for our mistakes and to confess. Like the Bible says, confess our sins one to another. And that definitely was not done in a righteous manner. So again, I just appreciate you guys for listening. I thank you so much for all, for coming onto my video. I pray that you subscribe to my channel. I pray that you like my video because it will help my video get out into the algorithm so more people can see it. And I hope you guys have a truly blessed night.